he just mixed up with the Bangla word Hatalo brother. So that's what he gave example. My father married your mother and then you become my Hatalo brother. English is the second language in Bangladesh that we speak. That's interesting thing that many people do not know. Actually, there are so many words we use. In Korea, it was interesting that we have seen, like, they have changed the words. Like, they don't say like America, they say Miguk or something like that. And they have different names, their own names for English words. But in Bangladesh, when a word comes to us, like we haven't changed that. Straightly we have taken that. We do not know the Bangla meaning of podium. We do not know. That's our language, Bangla. We do not know the meaning of podium. We know it's podium. We do not know, even one who never been to school, if you ask what's the Bangla meaning of glass, he doesn't know what glass Bangla meaning. So straightly we have taken the things. Now, that was a part of a little talk anyway. We have two presenters. Ariane, would you mind coming? Okay. We will be speaking about a topic we studied. Okay, that's our topic about digital storytelling for young learners. You know, I remember the thing, like when I was young, I read so many stories, but I can't remember not a single, even the name of the stories, because there was not much about visualization. And I remember things like when I was told so many stories from my grandmother. Generally, I was very close to my grandmother than my mother anyway. She used to tell us stories before sleeping, and I could imagine some sort of pictures. When she was telling about a ghost story, I could imagine about ghost picture. That is how I actually remember the thing, I guess. That really helped me. I mean, when you picture something, when you listen to something, and if you imagine some sort of pictures, you can remember. And why digital storytelling is important for young learners, you know. And what is about digital storytelling? Let's talk about using digital storytelling to teach English to young learners. Okay, what is first thing, like what is digital storytelling? That's what we're going to explain here. Then examples of digital storytelling. Then children's language learning process comes with effectiveness of digital storytelling. How to apply it in the class, which is more important, I guess, very important. Then step by step we'll show you actually what sort of materials we have used to teach about digital storytelling. The first question comes, digital storytelling is what is that actually? What is digital storytelling is? See, our technologies. Before that, before explaining about digital technology, I'd like to give examples of Bangladesh. Here we have a Prime Minister who is ruling for 3 times, in each time 5 years, 3 times, by just one single sentence, that is, Digital Bangladesh. One sentence which highlighted everyone's attention and gave voter, that is about Digital Bangladesh. Now let's explain, and it's kind of like funny. What do we know now, common people, what is Digital Bangladesh? What is digital? We think about having a computer in the classroom. That's all what do we mean digital. And now question is, having a computer in the classroom, if you do not know how to use it, that's not a digital thing at all. I remember when back in 2004, when I tried my first lesson to learn about like computer, I know it took me 3 days to turn on and turn on, because I was afraid, and my teacher was afraid if I somehow make any mistake and if it breaks down. I was really afraid. The first lesson was how to turn it on, how to turn it off. And then going to programs. That took me 3 days. And after 5 or 6 days, I remember I quit. Because I was afraid. Even the teacher was not that much willing, because it is all about digital, not natives, digital immigrants. I think when we are digital immigrants, we take things very, seriously. We are afraid of things. So what do we mean about digital technology? When we have a digital instruments and if we have the utilization of it, if we can integrate people with that, that's all about digital technologies. What it says, like, it's okay, it's okay. In English teaching, it is about like sharing and connecting, then contributing and collaborating, amplifying learners' voice. What is amplifying learners' voice? Remember, when we're teaching in the classroom, we think when we help the students have their voice heard by other students, even by teachers as well. That is about amplifying their voice. I think everyone loves it. Everyone loves it. When I see my teacher uses my materials to give examples, that really inspires. Since children love it, I think that is a great way to integrate them into their learning, and that helps them to go further. Transforming stories and meaningful learning in schools. See here, I have just got two pictures images about digital. I mean, you see one picture says like, I love reading and listening to teachers. And his facial expression does not show actually he loves it. And the other one, even he advocates others that he loves reading and listening to teachers too. Actually, even his photo does not, picture does not tell the truth that he loves. Because when the traditional way of telling stories or lectures going on, people may not have that much concentration. Actually, there is no movement. People love movement a lot. If it is like images or even things. Digital storytelling is composed of majorly three things, like visual images, when we have the images there, then voice, then music. These are the three materials that you have to have for the digital storytelling. What do you have like images? You can have like moving images or you can have the images, right? Then you can have like voice and music. Music really, everyone loves, that's a universal language, everyone loves music. Sometimes students may not be in the good mood, so a good music can even, help them.
Have you started?
Yeah, we have started. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So we have to have these three things. And of course, creating engagement. Creating engagement is what? See that? I remember, I'm not a teacher anyway at the moment. I used to be a teacher back in Bangladesh before coming, it was 2 years ago. So when sometimes you can have your students done some, drawing, or for example, about their life or their interest. And if you just take their pictures and make a video based on their pictures, and that's all we think about engagement. That really helps. Here, why digital storytelling and how actually it took the interest of people. Look at a major newspaper article on New York Times reported on the front page about the failures of technology in classroom use. Because we know it just having a computer or like internet connection does not mean digital at all until and unless it is used. Here, what was the news about? Test scores were not significantly higher in classrooms using the reading and mathematics software products than those in control classrooms. And there were no significant differences in student achievement between the classroom that used the technology products and classroom that did not. So when this news came to the New York Times, then it took the attention of people. Just having a computer in the classroom or having internet connection in the classroom does not mean at all digital. That does not, come out or help students learn things or best input. This is how digital storytelling comes to light. When that news was on the New York Times, then there are some people like here, simply adding computers to conventional teaching strategies is an unsophisticated approach that adds very little to students' experience in the classroom. So then it comes to highlight like the neuroscientist Michael Kumruzzaman in 2007, professor at the University of California at San Francisco Next Center, integrated neuroscience. They actually came with the idea of digital storytelling. What they say here, like many teachers still do not have good grasp of how to use them in their teaching. There are millions of apps there which help to teach young learners or even seniors as well, any classes. So when we are not aware, or when we do not know, or when we are not trained about how to use those technologies or apps, we cannot use them in the classroom. That's why they need to have the training. What it says, teachers' familiarity, confidence, and skills in choosing software and integrating technology into the curriculum are dependent. So the things are like familiarity, confidence, and skill. And comes like depend on teaching, training, and time for self-directed exploration and learning. So if teachers are trained, and if they get the familiarity on the, for example, any apps or any digital materials and confidence and training, if these things are there, then the integration happens. See, here another picture that says like students listening to teachers telling us in a traditional way. When traditional way lectures goes, for example, you might see in the audience some people feel bored, some people sleeping, or they're talking themselves. But when their images are moving, it really catches the attention of the people. Young learners and language acquisition. Now I will hand over the microphone to my partner, Ariane. She is going to start from now on. She will share all the projects. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Ariane. And I'll talk a little bit about how young learners, they learn language. And especially when they learn a second language, right? So here, what does a young learner mean here? Like when we talk about teaching English to young learners, we mean kids aged 2 to 13 years old, which is they actually considered young learner, and kids that are learning English as a foreign or a second language, and they have another first language or expert language, and English is just another school subject for them. And in the case of really young, like 2 or younger than 2, sometimes it's also considered as a second language, right? Because when they acquire 2 languages at the same time, when they're bilingual. And yeah, but in this case, when they are not, for example, living in another country, this is, for example, they are here in Korea or in non-native speaking countries.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Miranda Wu, and I'm so honored to be the ending keynote speaker today. Since everybody's introducing how they are integrate the online resources and how to make the digital learning and teaching fun, so I decided to demonstrate to you guys how I implement my online classes. Well, based on the statistic, I was sitting there calculating in the past month, I did 80 hours online teaching. And here I can, if you may, I would like to call for everybody to open your Google search and type in Zoom so that you can join me for my online class or a cloud meeting that we are going to record the whole process of today's symposium process. Zoom. Here, all you need to do, Zoom, Z-O-O-M. Google search for Zoom and download this software. Once you have it on your mobile phone, then the next thing is to join by inputting this meeting code, which is 916651905. I'm already in, and I'm the host of this cloud meeting. And if it is an online class, I'm the teacher, and I can show you my screen. So even with your mobile phone, you can join me whenever you are, and wherever I am. Then we can just sit in a virtual cloud meeting, and then we can have the online class. It's very convenient. I think this is how we actually revolutionize the teaching and learning. We have everything possible, accessible nowadays with artificial intelligence. Do you need a minute to install? Okay, so you open your Google and then you type in Zoom. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate already have Zoom, so I will Zoom. And then the first thing you have in here is the right thing. If you go for sign in, automatically it will, then you can go for join a meeting. Join a meeting. And here, you're going to type in the number, which I'm putting here, 916651905. You may need to download. Okay, download the program, the software is going to be more convenient. I think you can join me whenever you are ready. I can supervise everything from here. I know exactly how many of you are with me, like previously demonstrated. Here is my Zoom. I think right. So if I join. It's 916651905. Okay, then I'm going to start a new meeting. Perhaps the old ones will be, I have a meeting. This is current process. Okay, so I'm going to find my here. Did anybody join the meeting? Yeah. You already in?
Yeah.
Okay, how come I didn't see you guys?
1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah. Okay, how many of you are with me? Cool, thank you. So as you can see, I previously clicked sharing of my screen. Can you see my screen? Opsoyo? Okay.
Maybe 5 minutes ago I could, but now I can't.
Yeah, possibly because I have signed out accidentally. So maybe I can restart, or myself can join in, but I tried, I can't. Anyway, this is the message I want to deliver. If you want to have your own virtual class, a cloud meeting, for example, we are all language teachers, then you are in South Korea, you want to teach a bunch of students in your host country, in your home country, okay, you can do it whenever you are available, wherever it is available. Then do it, and then it's going to be very fun. The communication is as easy as a face-to-face, a real classroom communication. You can do even more. This is the chances we have when we are in this digital, this world with artificial intelligence. And today our theme is the fourth industrial revolution and education, the digital language, learning and teaching. My topic is to investigate will the English language remain a lingua franca with the rise of artificial intelligence and Chinese Mandarin in Industry 4.0. Artificial intelligence brought a lot of changes, or the world is changing in many ways. It brought the fourth industry revolution. The previous industry revolutions expanded tremendously our mechanical power. Well, this one, as the Germany put it, the Industry 4.0 in 2013 is going to revolutionize our cognitive power or our mental power. And we fear, we're in such a panic that with artificial intelligence, many of our jobs, manual labor or mental labor are going to be replaced by robots. But this is happening what are we going to do? These are the research activities that artificial intelligence is engaging on. We are putting an emphasis in creating intelligent robots, machines with speech recognition, computer vision, deep learning, or the neural machine translation. And the next thing is, I want to talk about the unique power of English. There are more than 7,000 languages in the world. And only 50% of the world population speak only 10 of those. And among those 10, 5 of those are behemoths. A behemoth language means a language that has a huge population. And to discuss the unique power of English, we need to know 1/4 of the world population speak at least some of English. They are the students at different levels. The 5 behemoth languages are Chinese Mandarin, based on very large population, English, Arabic, Hindu, and Spanish. Hindu Urdu. So in the previous 2 centuries, 19th century with the rise of Great Britain after the first Industrial Revolution, and in the 20th century after the Second World War, the rise of the United States, English has been lingua franca. It is a monopoly because communicating globally has been in English. The second language in my country, China, in Japan, in Germany, are all in English. We are able to talk to more people if we know the language. We are confident to travel to a country that we've never been to. Moreover, working in international organizations requires strong command of English. English, it is becoming an essential passport to social acceptance. A lingua franca is a trade language, or a linking language, a bridge language, that have developed around the world throughout human history, serving commercial, cultural, religious, diplomatic convenience, to exchange information between scientists and scholars with different nationalities. Today, English has been the lingua franca for the flourishing technological development in Silicon Valley over the last decades. Some would argue that English will squeeze out less widely spoken languages, or it is going to be pushed aside by another language. With internet, people say it's going to be more uniform. And some will also worry this trend of hybrid languages will pose a threat to English as a predominant language. It's very interesting that in South Korea here, we have Konglish. Konglish means a Korean style in English. We have South Apalika, coffee hands up to sale. So, and both sounds are missing in this language. So in Chinese, same is true, we have Chinglish, Chinese style English, Hinglish. So this fracture trend of English, is it going to pose a threat to English? Moreover, in my paper, which done several months ago, I also investigate, do rise of China and Mandarin Chinese pose a challenge to the dominance of the English language? Because Mandarin Chinese is definitely gaining popularity because of its increasing importance in international business trade. If you want to talk to more businessmen in China to purchase more made in China products, it is inevitable for you to communicate in Chinese language. The second very important parameter is artificial intelligence. Is it going to be a threat to the survival of English as a global language? Simply ask yourself this question. If computers are able to translate every language into every other language, why should everyone learn English if it's not their first language? Because AI machine technology is advancing in an extraordinary speed. The increased use of AI machine translation technology makes it unnecessary to learn English. It helps to remove language barriers and enhance human beings' communicative abilities. For example, you're in a foreign country, getting a menu or get a direction on holiday. These are just so easy with AI machine translation. AI machine translation allows people to travel to any parts of the world without speaking any of the languages themselves. This is the development in the past decade, thankfully, mostly the past decade of artificial intelligence. And we have speech recognition in 2010, 2012 is the computer vision, and then since 2014, the machine translation.